Hi everyone! Mankind has been using railroads for a very long time, to be more precise, since the 14th century. During all this time, the technology and the design have changed many times. The first trains look nothing like the modern ones, and still, the railway continues to be one of the most popular ways to travel long distances. Today, the length of the global railway network already exceeds 1 million kilometers, and this is not surprising, because trains are considered one of the safest modes of transport. But there are exceptions to any rule. In some parts of our world, there are railways that can literally take your breath away. Dozens or even hundreds of people die there, and those who decide to use them anyway are either madmen or simply have no other choice. Today, you will learn about the most dangerous railways in the world. Let's get it on! Georgetown Loop Railroad, USA. We mentioned that railroads have been serving humanity for a very long time for a good reason. This road, for example, was built 135 years ago, in 1884. In those ancient times, it was considered a miracle of engineering and even became a kind of landmark of its state, Colorado. It is located in Clear Creek County in the Rocky Mountains. In 1939, the railway was closed, but by 1984, it was operational again. Today, you can ride a tourist train on the Georgetown Loop Railroad, but that doesn't make it any less frightening. Everyone who decides to travel from Georgetown to Silver Plume via this road should be ready for the challenging ride. We definitely do not recommend getting on this train if you are afraid of heights. The train is for tourists, and it means it has open-top coach cars. When the cars pass over the flyover bridge, there is little that separates you from the terrible 30-meter abyss below. There are huge, sharp boulders under the flyover. Here's a good tip for travelers: hold on tight. Pamban Bridge, India. Traveling on this railway is definitely not a good choice for people who are scared of water. Rameswaram is a beautiful small city located on an island several kilometers away from mainland India. In 1914, the Pamban Railway Bridge was built to connect the town with the rest of the country. It was the first sea bridge in India. Until 2010, it was considered the longest sea bridge in this country, with a total length of 2,065 meters. You get it right? Pamban is a bridge across the strait, and it's time to tell you the scariest part. The fact is that this area is the second stormiest zone in the world, taking a backseat only to Florida. Maintenance of the bridge is incredibly difficult. It's only 12.5 meters away from the water. Strong winds, high humidity, fogs, powerful waves, and splashes are just a small part of what the passengers have to deal with. The fact that it requires regular repairs only makes you more nervous. But that's not all. On December 23, 1964, an accident happened here. The storm caused by the cyclone overturned the train, killing 150 people. We don't know about you, but we are avoiding this place at all costs. Just look at these waves. We couldn't find out whether these shots were captured at the Pamban Bridge. However, you must admit, this railway bridge is one of the scariest in the world. The Death Railway, Thailand. Okay, let's make something clear right away. No one in their right mind would officially name the road the Death Railway. If you open the map and look at the railway between Bangkok and Rangoon, you will see a different name, the Thai-Burma Railway. The Death Railway is just a nickname, and we'll tell you its origin. First, part of the road runs along a mountain slope several meters above the water. Second, for some reason, people walk along this road without any fear, not bothered by trains. Well, and third, attentive travelers will notice the memorials and feel how everyone around suddenly becomes quiet and a little sad. The construction of the Thai-Burma Railway was a war crime. Instead of trained specialists who got money for their work, prisoners of war and Asian convicts were the one who built this road. These people lived in terrible conditions and were subjected to inhuman treatment. Exhausting labor, hunger, illnesses, and abuse killed about 106,000 people. Most of them were Asians, but among the deceased were people from Britain, Australia, the USA, and the Netherlands. Now Thailand uses only part of this terrible road. The main visitors are tourists and relatives, whose descendants parted with their lives there. Gok Tiek Viaduct, Myanmar. If you thought that people with acrophobia could relax for now, you were wrong, because here is another terrible road located very high. This amazing railway bridge connects the cities of Lashio and Memyo in Myanmar. The construction began on April 28, 1899, and in some incredible way, it took less than a year to finish it. The 689-meter-long construction hangs at a height of 102 meters. This viaduct is considered a miracle of engineering even now, although more than a century has passed since it was built. There are no bridges in Myanmar higher than the Gok Tiek Viaduct. At the time of construction, the viaduct was the highest flyover bridge in the entire world. Today, the building is a tourist attraction, and this is not surprising. The bridge offers a great view of the country. Daredevils who are not afraid of height flock to this place from all corners of the world. By the way, trains travel across the bridge with minimal speed in order not to exert too much load on the viaduct. Landwasser Viaduct, Switzerland. Many of you have probably recognized this railroad. This is because the Landwasser Viaduct is a symbol of the Albula Railway, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This picturesque place often appears in photos and videos, some of which are then used as advertisements and posters. The place is quite famous, although frightening.
Buongiorno.
Expecto Patronum!
The viaduct itself is a 136-meter-long structure. It was assembled from 6 20-meter arches. The view from here is simply breathtaking. That's not surprising, because the height of the bridge is 65 meters. The viaduct is located in Graubünden, a canton in southeastern Switzerland. Of course, the structure is absolutely reliable. After all, about 60 trains pass on the bridge every day. However, the location of the viaduct instills fear, even if it offers a breathtaking view. The Takamori Line, Japan. And here is another frightening railroad. If you do not yet know exactly where the Tatano Bridge is located, you probably think that it's in some high place again. You are correct, and this height alone can send shivers down your spine. And second, the Tatano Bridge is part of the Takamori Railway Line. This railroad is located in Kumamoto Prefecture on the Kyushu Line, Japan. If some of you are volcano experts, then you realize this railway is located dangerously close to the active volcano Aso. Its last eruption occurred in 2016. But don't worry, today, even thrill seekers won't be able to make a trip there even if they wish. In the spring of 2016, the region experienced a series of very strong earthquakes. They damaged the road so much that the government decided to close it. Today, Takamori Line is still closed. Restoration will require from 6.5 to 7 billion Japanese yen. What else can we say? We hope that during those terrible earthquakes, not a single train was traveling along the bridge. The White Pass and Yukon Railway, Canada. We don't know about you, but this video tells us that beauty often goes side by side with fear, because most of the railways you've seen today are breathtaking in all different ways. They offer incredible views, but at the same time, they're really scary. The White Pass and Yukon Railway is no exception. The construction of this US-Canadian road began in 1898, and although the total length of the railway was 175 kilometers, it took only 2 years despite the extremely difficult working conditions. The White Pass and Yukon runs through through the White Pass. The railway was built in such a hurry because of the gold rush. This road is an isolated line, not connected to any other railways. Its sole purpose was to transport gold seekers. Interestingly enough, right after the gold rush was over, the road was closed, as it was no longer needed. But when the next mining boom happened, it was reopened. Today, the White Pass and Yukon Railway, as you can see, is operational again. It offers passengers spectacular views of the mountains and forests. Every few years, accidents happen here, and sometimes they result in casualties. But this is a common thing for the most frightening railways in the world. Belgrano Railway, Argentina. The last railway for today looks very impressive and has a very honorary title. The Belgrano Railway, also known as the C14 line, is the 5th highest railway in the world. It's hard to believe, but the rails rise 4,220 meters above sea level. In addition, it's one of the longest railways in Argentina. The railroad was opened 71 years ago, in 1948. The most notable thing about it, aside from the height, is the tourist train, which got the nickname the Train to the Clouds. You can see the shots taken by its passengers on the screen. It feels like the train is floating in the air. Only rocks, stones, and occasional trees with cacti are around. The journey on this train takes 8 hours. Over this time, the train travels 217 kilometers, and although it moves up the mountain, you will not feel dizzy. The entire railway is a continuous zigzag, and this allows the train to move so smooth that passengers do not get scared. This is it for today. See you soon.
Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, and you will be the first to know when a new video comes out. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.